voice, I don't know how it projects, so if you can't hear me, let me know. For those who don't know me, I'm Dan Murphy. I'm Jerry's son. One of the many people who've been fortunate enough to spend a significant amount of time with this man, both on and off the trap line. Whoa, didn't expect that. Here to help me honor my father tonight are my wife Melissa, my brother Rob and his wife Jessica, my sister Alicia, and her husband Anthony. Before I begin, I want to say congratulations to Mr. Grabsky on your induction tonight. For the record, that's probably the first time anybody's ever referred to you as Mr. Grabsky.
No, two guys from Kentucky today.
I had to rehearse this a bunch of times so I wouldn't laugh doing it. But no, in all seriousness, congratulations, Glenn. You really deserve it. You're a good friend and really happy for you. And I think Dad was really sad he couldn't find the wig too. So
he told me.
Well, Dad wanted me to keep this short and sweet, and didn't want me to rattle off a list of bullet point accomplishments. So I'll spare you all and him from doing that. But I think it's only fitting because you can't really, define his, how great he is just by trophies and scores and his years of service to the WTA. So, everybody who's encountered him really knows what I'm talking about when I say that. So, he's a Hall of Fame personality with a regular Joe ego, and he never played this game for the achievements. While he's proven himself to be an elite trap shooter, he would trade it all in a heartbeat to be able to spend just a little bit more time with all the amazing people he's met in this room and on the trap ranges across this country. To me, Dad's always been the best shooter I've known. This is happy tears. He dragged me around to shoots when I was a little boy. I'd watch him shoot and stand back there and pretend I was up there with him. I've been incredibly blessed to be able to have done it for real with him too. And through trap shooting, he's taught me how to be humble and to never stop having fun, because at the end of the day, this is just a game. I just want to give an example of kind of how Dad approaches this game. I think he would tell you one of his greatest moments in trap shooting was a shoot off that he lost and yielded no trophy. At the 1998 Grand American, he shot his first Grand American 200 straight during the class singles championship, and he and I were both shooting in the event, but we were on separate squads. When we synced up at the end of the event, we came to learn that his 200 combined with the 199 that I had shot qualified us for a shoot-off for the parent-child championship. It's a special moment for he and I, indeed, but it was made even more special when we found out that we had tied with our good friends George and Eric Wycombe from Illinois. We lost them in the shoot-off, but I know Dad cherishes that we got to go head-to-head with such great friends for such a difficult award to win. And now that both George and Eric are no longer with us, and we both feel it's like our destiny, or the destiny for all of us, that we got to be a part of that, and we're very humbled by it. And that's just Dad, that's the stuff he cherishes most about the game. It's not the trophies and not the scores. It's the people and the relationships. One final thing I wanted to point out is something that I consider to be pretty spectacular. Dad's regular squad mates for a period of 12 to 15 years or so: Steve Keeley, Tim Curtin, Jim Westover, and Jerry Tesh. As of tonight, that entire squad is in the Hall of Fame. So without further ado, I'd like to present to you the newest member of the Wisconsin Trapshooting Hall of Fame, Jerry Murphy. wanted to just share with everybody a special gift we had him made from our good friends, the Brophies at Shamrock Leathers. Handmade him this custom bag. It's got the Murphy family crest on it, his signature on the top. And on the very back, it's got that legendary squad I just talked about engraved on it. It's up here for people to
Well, first of all, thank you to all of, I guess now my fellow Hall of Fame members for deciding to include me in your company, and Glenn. I really wasn't going to say very much tonight, but Glenn and I talked earlier today, and he said he wasn't going to say anything, and he really expected me to occupy quite a bit of time up there. Just thought you should know that. I've just got a few things I want to say. 38 years ago, almost to the day, I was sitting in a little gun club just across the state line in Illinois after having shot my 50 targets, 16-yard league with some friends, and they were talking about going to something the next day, and I said, what is this registered trap shoot stuff you keep talking about? They said, well, we're going to one tomorrow. You want to go along? Big mistake. But no, good mistake. So the following day, we went to a little trap shooting at the McHenry Sportsman's Club in McHenry, Illinois. And of course, I was shooting league. I knew I broke 23, 4, 5 every time I shot, every round I shot. And I proceeded to go down there, and I think my first 100 singles I shot at, I broke an 84. So I wasn't real impressed with that. But that day, then I went out in a handicap, and after missing some targets on the first 2 traps, ran the back 50, got a 1-yard punch the first day I shot, and that was the only time I was ever on the 20-yard line, was that first day I shot, and that was where we started back in '78. So that was kind of and after that I was hooked. A few weeks later, I didn't go to the Grand, but some friends of mine were down there, and the executive, or the board of directors and executive committee decided to raise the annual membership fee. So about a month after joining the AT for the first time, I bought my life membership for $50. So great investment. I got my money's worth out of it. But I got a couple things other things I want to mention too. I've had the privilege of shooting with many people in this room, including you, Glenn. I consider it a privilege. We've had fun, you know. And that's what it's all about. That's what the biggest thing that trap shooting is all about. It's a sport. It's fun. You can be serious a little bit when you're on the line, but it's the fun, the camaraderie, the friendships you make when you're doing it. And that's why we should be doing it. I had a very poignant lesson in what that's all about when I was sitting in my office one day, and the day was September 11, and one of the guys that worked for me called and said, have you been listening to the radio? And no, I hadn't been listening to the radio, and he said, you need to listen to the radio. Well, I turned the radio on, and I wound up going home and turning the TV on and to see all the tragedy that took place that day. I walked into my office the next morning, and here spread out all over my desk was what I'd been working on when I got that phone call, and it was all the paperwork from 2 complaints that had come out of our state shoot that year that I had to deal with as delegate. And I couldn't even bring myself to touch that stuff after what had gone on the day before, and I just chucked it in a couple of shell boxes and threw it up on top of the file cabinet. And it wasn't until about 3 months later when John Norris, who was the executive director of the ATA at the time, kept calling me and said, you gotta get that stuff in. You can't just, we gotta deal with that. So I finally did it. But what happened is it really forced me to kind of look at what's important. And when I started doing that, trap shooting wasn't up near as close to the top of things as I thought it was. You know, my family was first, obligations to my immediate family first, extended family second, friends, obligation to work, other responsibilities like that. And trap shooting was somewhere down in the bottom, except for the fact that friends brought it right back up to the top again. Not number one, but up closer. And but it really forced me to take a different look at things. So my thoughts at the time were that I even thought about maybe I should quit, you know, because I felt so disgusted about what I'd been having to deal with, and I realized that wouldn't have been a good thing either, too. But it was quite an eye-opening experience to really sit and evaluate things from that standpoint. Well, I know Dan didn't talk about a lot of things. I've had the privilege to shoot a lot of targets, and I'm working on my latest milestone. And I've had a few milestones in terms of target achievement and stuff. And the latest one I'm working on is 25,000. And out of that, it's 3,600 plus a few singles, 12,472 handicap, and 8,104 doubles, which puts me like at 24,270 or something like that. That's the number of targets I've missed in my career. I think that's close to a semi, maybe bigger. But anyhow, it's not about the numbers, and that's, I guess, one of the things that hasn't been for me for a long time. It's really more about the time I get to spend with people I've gotten to shoot with over the years, with my son Dan and other members of my family and stuff, and all of you here. And thank you very much. I appreciate it.